Okay. Good morning, everyone. Okay. I think today might be the last lessons of my vector. In our previous class, we have discussed how to add a vector system. Under that topic, we have discussed the first method, which is the vector addition theorem, and we have discussed how to apply vector addition theorem into a question. Okay. Under that topic, I have given you some small tips, no? What are those? According to definition of a resultant force, the resultant force is the single force that can replace all the other forces in a vector system. Therefore, if you are given a vector system and asked you to find the resultant, that means you have to reduce the entire vector system into a single vector. That is the meaning of finding resultant force. Therefore, we have to reduce the number of vectors. To reduce number of vectors, we can apply some small tips which we have learned earlier. What are those? Suppose if we are given this kind of vector system, as I told you earlier, the first thing you have to consider in this kind of question, whether there is a closed polygon or not. If there is a closed polygon or closed loop, that means the resultant force of those vectors is 0. Therefore, I can remove all the vectors in this vector system. Okay. So according to this example, you can see this one. It is a closed loop, no? It is a closed loop. That means this is a closed polygon. Therefore, the resultant force of these 6 vectors is 0. Therefore, I can remove these 6 vectors. So, according to, as I told you earlier, you have to check that factor first, whether there is a closed loop or not. So, if there is a closed loop, you can remove all these vectors. Then you can reduce the number of vectors into some certain numbers. Okay. Then you have to apply the vector polygon theorem or vector triangle method to reduce other vectors. Okay. So that is the way of simplifying or reducing a vector system into a single vector or finding the resultant force of a vector system. That is the first method. Okay. Suppose now you are given this kind of one. Okay. Suppose now you are given this kind of example. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D is a rectangle. Assume A, B, C, D is a rectangle, Puta. Okay, if it is a rectangle and, sorry, and there is a force in AB direction, which is equal to 10 Newton. This is 5 Newton. Then again 20 Newton and 10 Newton. Suppose you are given this kind of vector system and ask you to find the resultant vector. Can you do it quickly? What is the resultant force of this vector system? What is the resultant force? So what is the resultant force of this vector system? Can anyone solve the problem? What is the resultant force? Okay. Please give me the answer for this question. Can we apply the previous method, that means vector addition theorem, to this method, to this question? Can we apply? Please give me the answer for that question. Can we apply the vector addition theorem to this question? I need quick responses from you. I need quick responses. You have to tell whether yes or not. Okay. Can we apply the vector addition theorem to the system to find the resultant force of the system? Make resultant force එක හොයන්න vector addition theorem එක දාන්න පුළුවන්ද බැයිද? That is the question. There's one answer. What about others? I need responses from everyone. Again, I am repeating the question. Suppose you are given this kind of vector system and asked to find the resultant force. Okay. My first question was, what is the resultant force? But after that, I have asked the second question, whether you can apply the vector addition theorem into the system or not. Yes. Others? No, we cannot apply. We cannot apply. Why? What is the reason? Okay. If you are new students, you have to follow the previous recordings without. Today, this is the last day of vector, and after this session, we will start a new lesson, that is the linear motion. Therefore, you can freshly start from that lesson, but until the vector lesson, you have to go through the previous recordings. I will send that to you. Okay. 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 Actually, we cannot apply the vector addition theorem into the system. Why? What is the reason? What is the reason?
Directions are reversed.
No, the magnitudes. If you want to apply vector addition theorem, the vector should be represented in magnitude and directions. No, this is a geometrical representation of vector. This is a geometrical representation of vector. If you are representing a vector using a line segment, that means it is a geometrical representation. If it is a geometrical representation, then definitely you have to represent those vectors using the direction as well as the magnitude. Okay? But in this system, direction is okay. Direction is there. But what about magnitude? Whether they are representing in magnitude or not? No. As you told you earlier, this is a rectangle. No, this is a rectangle. If it is a rectangle, you know the opposite side, the length of opposite side, the length of opposite sides are equal to each other. Therefore, if this length, if AB length representing 10 Newton force, that means CD length should also represent 10 Newton force in magnitude. Direction can be opposite. Direction can be opposite or direction can be same. It can be varied, but the magnitude should be equal in opposite side magnitude. If they represent if they are represented in magnitude, these two magnitudes should be equal, and these two magnitudes should be equal. Direction can be changed. That is okay. But if they are represented in magnitude, that means these two sides have same length. So the magnitude of these two forces should be equal. Do you get my point? තේරුණාද? මේක magnitude එකෙන් represent කරලා නම් තියෙන්නේ මේ අනිවාර්ය මේවා sides equal නිසා අනිවාර්යෙන් magnitude equal වෙනවා. තේරුණාද? I need responses.
Yes, sir.
So this vector system actually we can get the direction of this vector, but they are not representing in magnitude. Okay, these vector system are not represented in magnitude. So if we are given this kind of vector system, okay, if we are given this kind of vector system, then we cannot apply vector addition theorem into this vector system. Actually the reason of this kind of vector system is we have to get the directions only. That's why we are given this kind of vector system. Okay, that is the another type of questions. Okay, if you are given this kind of vector system, that means the vectors are not represented in magnitudes. Therefore, we cannot apply vector addition theorem. All the others. Did you get my point? මේ වගේ vector system එකක් දුන්නාම ඒ කියන්නේ පුතේ මේක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මම දන්නවා මේ length එකයි equal වෙන්න ඕනේ. මේ length එකයි equal වෙන්න ඕනේ. That means the magnitude of these vectors should be equal. Okay. Therefore, these vectors are not represented in magnitude. So if you are given this kind of vector system, that means we have to get the angles only, the angles between two vectors only. Okay. Normally we are given this kind of vector system to get the directions of vectors, not the magnitude. So if you are given this kind of vector system, actually we cannot apply the vector addition theorem. So such cases we have to solve such questions. No, so we have to apply another method to solve these questions. What is that? That is vector resolving method. Okay. Although there are 4 vectors here, actually in this question there are only 4 vectors, but sometimes you may have a lot of vectors. Okay. Suppose you are given 6 vectors. Suppose you are given 6 vector system. Suppose you are given this kind of vector system. There are 6 vectors. No. If you are given this kind of vector system, although there are 6 vectors, we can reduce these numbers into 2. No. Into 2. Okay. Actually, you don't. Although you don't know how to get the resultant force of 6 vectors, you know how to get the resultant force of 2 vectors. No. That thing you know. No? You can take the resultant force of 2 vectors using vector law, or any other, using any other law, you can get the resultant force of two vectors. Therefore, if there are so many vectors in this vector system, okay, we cannot get the resultant force at once. But if we reduce this vector system into two vectors, we can get the resultant. No? That is the argument. That is the argument of this kind of question. There are a lot of vectors here, so I cannot take the resultant force because there are a lot of vectors, and other thing is they are not represented in magnitudes. Therefore, I cannot take the resultant force. But if I reduce this vector system into two perpendicular vectors, now I can take the resultant force. No, that is the argument. So in this kind of question, we have to go to vector resolving method. We have to take the resolved component of two perpendicular directions. We have to take resolved components in two perpendicular directions, x and y. If you take two resolved component in two perpendicular directions, then you can take the resultant of these two. That means the resultant of vector system. තේරුණාද? මොකද කරන්නේ අපි මේ vector system එකේ vectors ගොඩක් තිබ්බ වුණාට අපි ඒක reduce කරනවා two perpendicular vectors වලට. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකේ resultant එක අරගන්නවා. හරිද? එතකොට මේක reduce කරන්න මම use කරන්නේ vector resolving method එක. Did you understand? Everyone, I need responses. I need responses. Okay. You have to understand the logic, okay? What is the logic here? Others?
So can't we use this method for the rectangle?
Sorry?
Can't we use the resolved component method for the rectangle?
Result component methods. I don't understand your question. What is the result component method, miss?
The resolved components.
Resolve component. Yeah.
Using that method, can't we find the resultant force of the rectangle?
So that is the method we have applied, no? That is the method. That is the result. So if I reduce this vector system into x direction and y direction, there are two vectors, no? If I reduce this vector system into x and y direction, that means at the first place there are four vectors here. There were four vectors. Then if I take the resolved component, that means I'm going to take the vectors in two perpendicular direction. That means this four vector system will be reduced into two vector system. Into two vectors. Okay. So you have to take the resultant force of these two vectors. Okay. Then issue.
So then what are the two vector systems there?
Actually, I cannot understand your question, Putra. You are asking.
So that means when the resolved components, we should select two pairs in perpendicular directions. Na?
Yeah.
Then sir, in this rectangle, what are the two perpendicular directions?
You can take any direction. Okay. Normally, Normally we may take in x and y directions. X and y direction means this is the positive x direction, this is the positive y direction. Normally we are taking this kind of vector system, but you can take any direction. If you want to resolve this kind of direction, you can take. But the thing is, this is very hard to solve, no? Right? Because we don't know about angles, no? We don't know about angles. If you know about angles, you can take any directions as two perpendicular directions. Okay? If you know the angles, you can take any two perpendicular directions. But normally we are given angles for this system. Okay, x and y normally we are resolving this vector system in x and y directions, but you can take any perpendicular directions if you know the angles. Okay, then another.
So then can we take DC and CB?
DC and no. That is not the way. If you suppose now, okay, I will solve the question. I will solve the question, then you can understand. Okay. Look at this one. So you have to take the first thing is you have to take resolve component in x direction. Resolve component in x direction. Shall we resolve? This is the first force. This is the first force. I have taken the positive x as this direction. That means right hand side. It is a positive x. Okay. That is the sign convention I'm going to use for this question. Okay. According to this sign convention, this force is in the positive direction. Therefore, 10 Newton is positive one. Then this is perpendicular to x direction. Therefore, there won't be any component here. This also perpendicular to x direction. Therefore, there won't be any component from this force. Then here, there's 20 Newton to the negative x direction. Therefore, it will be minus 20. So, answer is minus 10 Newton. So, to right hand side, the resolved component is minus x. That means actual x is in this direction. It is equal to 10 Newton. It is equal to 10 Newton. Then y. Then y. I have taken the positive y is in upward direction. Then you can clearly see these forces won't be applied for y direction because they are perpendicular to y direction. Therefore, there won't be any components from these vectors. Therefore, I will take these two only. 10 Newton is in positive y direction. 5 Newton also in positive y direction. Therefore, both are positive. Therefore, y component is for 15 Newton in positive direction. 15 Newton in positive direction. Then I can draw the vector system again using these two components. Now this vector system is reduced 10 Newton into this direction to left hand side and 15 Newton into the upward direction. So definitely the resultant force of this one is equal to the square of this one, addition is square of this one, is square root. So R is equal square of 10 plus square of 15, the entire square root. That means nearly 18, you know. තේරුණාද? Issue?
Okay, sir.
Others?
Okay, sir. Understood.
Okay. In this kind of questions, again, I'm telling you this one. First thing you have to determine whether the vector system is represented in magnitude and direction. In magnitude and direction, normally they are represented in directions, but you have to determine whether they are represented in magnitude also. If they are represented in magnitude and direction, normally it is given in the question. Okay. So by looking at the geometrical shape, you can determine whether they are represented in magnitude also. Okay. But in this case, they are not represented in magnitude, no? 10, 20, 5, 10. So if they are represented in magnitude, the magnitude of AB and magnitude of DC should be equal because this is a rectangle. Direction can be changed, but magnitude should be equal. So if you are given this kind of question, you have to go to another method, that is vector resolving method. Vector resolving method. So the entire vector system can be reduced into two perpendicular forces using vector resolving method. You know how to resolve vectors. You know how to resolve vectors. Therefore, resolve each and every vectors in x and y directions. X and y directions. Find the resolved component in x direction and y direction. Then the entire system will be reduced into two perpendicular vectors which are in y and x directions. Then finally you can take the resultant force of these two perpendicular vectors. These two perpendicular vectors. Okay, that is very easy. Okay, normally these kind of vector systems are given to get the angles between vectors. Okay, vectors aren't represented in magnitude, but normally they are represented in sides of some geometrical shape because you can take the angles between two vectors. That is the reason of representing this vector system in a rectangle. Okay, you may have various kind of geometrical shapes. Okay, in this kind of questions, you are given that kind of you are given a geometrical shape just for taking angles. Okay, write another topic. The second method. Finding the resultant vector. Finding the resultant vector. Finding the resultant vector using vector resolving method. Using vector resolving method. Okay. Draw this diagram under the topic. Okay. Right under that. Right under that. Suppose we are asked to find the resultant vector. We are asked to find the resultant force. We are asked to find the resultant force of the above vector system. Of the above vector system. Write in another paragraph. In this case, we cannot apply in this case we cannot apply the vector addition theorem. The vector addition theorem in this case we cannot apply the vector addition theorem as the vectors are not represented in magnitudes. Are not represented in magnitudes. If the vectors are represented in magnitudes, if the vectors are represented in magnitudes, okay. If the vectors are represented in magnitudes, right under that rule, this one, the modulus of AB is equal modulus of CD vector, modulus of okay. දැන් හරි නේද?
Yes.
පොතල් එකයි හවුද?
So පොඩි තැනක් විතර මම නැගුණත් is I think
Okay.
somewhere
මට අන්තිම
lesson එක ඇහුණා so ගානපිට එකේ ඔක්කොම ඇහුණා මේ security එක ඔක්කොම ඇහුණා අර අන්තිමට පොඩි වචනයක් වගේ කිව්වේ ඒක විතරක්
මට අන්තිමට මේ ලියපු මේ sentence එක කියන්නකෝ.
In this case, we cannot apply the vector addition theorem as the vectors are not represented in magnitudes if the vectors are represented in magnitudes. Magnitudes කියලා අර කලිය යන්න තියෙනවා.
එතන දුන්නේ.
If the vectors are represented in magnitudes, then you asked us to write that.
So may you have may write up to this one, no?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Then right under that. But they are not equal. They are not equal. But they are not equal. According to the figure.
Sir, can you repeat that?
But they are not equal. They are not equal according to the figure. According to the figure. Right under that. So we cannot use. So we cannot use vector addition theorem. So we cannot use vector addition theorem for this kind of questions. For this kind of questions. Okay, right under that, in a new topic, in new paragraph. So we will use vector resolving method. Vector resolving method. Vector resolving method to find the resultant force. To find the resultant force. The logic is reducing the vector system. Reducing the vector system to perpendicular vectors. To perpendicular vectors.
So the logic is
The logic is reducing the vector system. The logic is reducing the vector system, into two perpendicular vectors. Because we know how to take the resultant, of two perpendicular forces. Okay. Do this. How do we do this? First, you have to take the resolved component in x direction. If you take the resolved component in x direction, you can clearly see 10 Newton is in right hand side in positive direction. So it is positive. There won't be any component from here from 5 Newton because it is perpendicular to the x direction. So there won't be any component. Then here 20 will be a minus because it is in the negative direction. Because I have taken positive as the right side. Then there won't be any component from 10 Newton because it is perpendicular to the x direction. Then the answer is equal 10 minus 20, that is minus 10. Minus 10 means the force should be in other direction. I have taken the positive as right hand side. So the answer is minus. That means the vector is in other direction. Therefore, the x component is in left hand side. X component of this system is in left hand side. The magnitude is equal to 10. Then again, you have to take the y component. If you take y component, then there won't be any component from this force and this force because they are perpendicular to 1. Then there are two components from here, from 5 Newton and 10 Newton, both are in positive direction. Therefore, the y component is 15. It is in upward direction. Then I can reduce this vector system into this kind of two vectors. Although we don't know how to get the resultant force of this vector system, but we know how to get the resultant force of these two vectors because they are perpendicular to each other. Okay. So therefore, R is equal to the square root of the square of 10 plus the square of 15. That means square of 325 meters. 325, no? Okay, write down this thing. Write down from here to here. And you have to draw this image also. Okay, shall you do some questions? Okay. Question number 3. Question number 3. You can use the same method, that means vector resolving method, to find the resultant force of this kind of vector system. Okay, using that method, solve these two questions in question number 3. First, do these two questions. Question number 3. Okay, shall we do the first question? Have you done the first question? Have you done the first question? What is the answer for the first question number 1? The first question? Make kara 3A ke 1 එක. Question number 3A ke question 1 එක. Still doing? Put massive number. Okay. Shall we start to do? Okay. So first we have to take the resultant force in x direction. That means x component. The first thing we have to do, finding the x component of the system. X component. So I'm going to take this side as the positive direction. Then this will be a positive one. This will be a positive one. No, this is 30. This is therefore I can take it as 90 over root 3 cos 30. 90 over root 3 cos 30 plus 50 root 3 cos 30. Here this is the angle, this is the angle, therefore that angle is 30. Therefore, if you resolve into this direction, that will be cos 30. Those are positive sides. Are they? If we resolve 60 root 3 into x direction, it is in the left-hand side, which is the negative direction. Which is in the negative direction. It is in the negative direction. So the component from 60 root 3 will be a negative 1, 60 root 3 cos 30. Cos 30. This angle is 30. This angle also 30. Therefore, if I resolve 100 root 3 into x direction, 100 root 3 cos 30, it's also a negative value. 100 root 3 cos 30. It also a negative value because it is in the negative direction. So if I simplify this one, look at this. You can do this within your mind. You can do this within your mind. Don't write this step. Okay, everyone, look at the board. Everyone, look at the board. How I am simplifying this one. This one, cos 30 means root 3 over 2, root 3 over 2, that means 3 to 3 will be cancelled out. 90 over 2 means 45. 45, no? Then this one, root 3 over 2, root 3 over 2 means root 3 into root 3 means 3 over 2, that means 25 or 25 into 3, 75. 75, 45. How much? 120, no? 120. It is 120. Then this one, root 3 over 2, that means 30 into 3, you know, 30 into 3 means 180. 180. Root 3 over 2. Root 3, 3. Root 3, 3. 60 over 2 means 30. 30 into, sorry, 30 into 3. 30 into 3 means 90. 120 minus 90, that means 30. 120 minus 90, that means 30. Then how much this is? 51 into 3, no? 50 into 3, no? 50 into 3 means root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2 means 50 into 3. 50 into 3. 50 into 3 means 150. 150 means 30 minus 150. That means minus 120. Is that correct? Is the number correct? Yes. Okay. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න පුතේ දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ මයින්ඩ් එක යූස් කරලා දැන් ඕනේ. හරිද? ඒ ඉම්ප්‍රූව්මන්ට් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒ ප්‍රැක්ටිසස් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරනකොට ටක් ගාලා ඔලුවට යනවා. හරි. Alright. Then the y component. These two are positive. These two are positive. If I resolve this into y direction, these two are positive. Therefore, I am going to take those two forces first. 50 root 3 cos 60. 50 root 3. This angle is 60. Therefore, 50 root 3 cos 60. And again, 60 root 3 cos 60. Look at this again. Look at this again. Both angles are equal, which is 60, no? Therefore, 50 root 3 cos 60 and 60 root 3 cos 60. Therefore, I can write it as 110 root 3 into cos 60. This one 90 into root 3. Okay. This is not 90 into root 3. This is 90 over root 3. 90 over root 3. It is 90 over root 3. Okay. Look at this again. Look at this again. Both angles are equal. Both angles are equal, which is cos 60. Cos 60. Therefore, I can add these two. Getting convenient. Short methods. You can write 50 root 3 cos 60 plus 60 root 3 cos 60. You can write that one. But cos 60 is a common factor for both. No? If you take cos 60 out, that means 50 root 3 should be added to 60 root 3. That means 110 root 3. So I can write it as once. 110 root 3 cos 60. Then again, we can do this for this one also. Really nice. Then again, if you resolve this component, this is minus. No? This is minus 100 root 3 cos 60. 100 root 3 cos 60. Minus 100. Sorry. 100 root 3 cos 60. If you take this component, it's 90 over root 3. 90 over root 3 cos 60. It is also minus. No? If you resolve this component into xy direction, it is in negative side. Therefore, minus 90 root 3 cos 60. So the answer is, if you simplify this one, 110 minus 100. Cos 60 is both, cos 60 is common. Therefore, 110 minus 100 means 10. 10 root 3. 10 root 3 into cos 60. That means cos 60 is half. No? Cos 60 half. Therefore, 5 times root 3 here. 5 times root 3 here. Minus. This also half. If you replace it by half, that means 45 over root 3. 45 over root 3. So if you take root 3 as the common denominator, root 3 into root 3 will be 3. 3 into 5 is 15. 15 minus 45 means minus 30. Minus 30. Minus 30 over root 3. Root 3. Minus 30 over root 3 means 30 means 10 times 3. 10 times 3, no? 30 I can write it as 10 times 3. 10 times 3 means 3 to root 3 will be cancelled out. The answer is minus 10 times root 3 Newton. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. I need responses from everyone. Do you get my calculations? Do you get my simplification? I need responses from everyone. Okay, හැමෝගෙම response ඕනි. මම simplify කරපු විදිය තේරෙනවද ඔයගොල්ලන්ට? Oh, I need that. What about others? Okay, I will explain. Okay. Okay, with it, the first thing I have to tell you, actually, we have to improve our mind. We have to do continuous practicing. Okay, continuous practicing. And therefore, don't go for writing each and every steps. Don't go for writing. Use your mind and do the calculations within your mind. Then you can improve your thinking ability. Okay, if you want to calculate this kind of long expressions, actually you have to have very good concentration. You have to concentrate for this particular question. Otherwise, you cannot calculate using your mind. Okay, but the most important thing is this is a mind game. As I told you every day, this is a mind game. Okay, this is a mind game, but therefore you have to improve your thinking ability. And ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඕලෙවලදී අපිට ඕක එන්නේ නැහැ. ඔකේ තාම මම ඕගොල්ලන්ව බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හරි තාම මම ඕගොල්ලෝ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා කියන පුතේ. මොකද මේ තාම ඕගොල්ලෝ පොඩි ළමයි. තාම ඕගොල්ලෝ ඕලෙවල් වලින් ඇවිල්ලා මෙතනට ආව විතරයි. හැබැයි දැන් now you have to try to improve this. Okay, the first thing you have to try to improve this. That's why I did basic mathematics course, especially for bio students, because normally maths students can improve their thinking ability, because they should normally they will have a lot of exercises, but for bio students this is the only chance. This is the only chance. Therefore, you have to try to solve each and every questions using your mind. And mind use try karana. Maybe the first 1 or 2 questions, maybe you will get wrong answers. That is okay. But don't disturb that. Try to solve each and every questions using your mind. Then you can improve your mind. And ඕගොල්ලෝ අහලා තියෙන ගාන දැක්ක ගමන් මීටර වෙනවා කියලා මිනිස්සුන්ට නේ. දැන් අපි සමහරවිට අපි කියලා දෙනවා අපි ගාන දැක්ක ගමන් ක්වෙස්චන් එක දැක්ක ගමන් ඔන්න ක්වෙස්චන් එක දැක්කම අපිට මීටර වෙනවා ක්වෙස්චන් එක හදන විදිහ. එහෙම වෙන්නේ කොහොමද? එහෙම වෙන්නේ පුතේ අපේ මයින්ඩ් එක අපි ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරගත්තොත්. හරි. අනිවාර්යයෙන් you have to improve your mind, thinking ability, especially thinking ability, especially your calculations using your mind. හරි. එතකොට අනිවාර්යයෙන් ඇත්තටම ये practices से තියෙනවා. මේ practices තියෙනෝනේ. Otherwise actually මේ අර අපිට quick responses අපිට එන්න තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට click වෙන්න ටිකක් පරක් වෙලා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. පරක් වෙලා click වෙන්න එකම හේතුව අපි අපේ mind improvements practice කරලා නැහැ. අතනම ඕනවලදී උක කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඕනවලදී සාමාන්‍ය mind improvement practices කරනවා අඩුයි. අපි ළමෙක් හිතලා කරුත් ඇරෙන්න ළමෙක් හිතලා තමුන් හදාගත්තොත් ඇරෙන්න කරනවා අඩුයි. හරිද? කරනවා අඩුයි නෙවෙයි කරන්නේ නැහැ අතට. හරි. ඕගොල්ලෝ නෙවෙයි ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ නැහැ. මේ ඒගොල්ලෝ එහෙම කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලෝ අපි හිතනවා ළමයි මේ මට්ටමේ ඉන්නවා කියලා. මේ මට්ටමේ ඉන්නවා කියලා හිතලා ඒ මට්ටමේ ඉන්න ළමයි තමයි ටීච් කරන්නේ. ඒක නිසා තමයි අර 50% ෆේල් වෙන්නේ. right. 50% fail වෙන හේතුව ඉතින් මේ ළමයි මේ මට්ටමට ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ. ලොකු ගැප්පයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. තාම ඔයගොල්ලෝ පටන් ගත්ත විතරයි ඒරවල. Therefore there are you have lot of time. You have lot of time. මම හිතනවා මීට කලින් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඩිගල් පරණ ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් ලයින් වල ඒකවල තේත්තදී මම මුදේ මැත්ස් කරනවා කියලා මම ඩිසයිඩ් කරේ 10 වසරේ. 10 වසරේ නිකන් මම හිතන්නේ ඉතින් බයව කරනවා කියලා. 10 වසරේ මම ඉතින් දෙවෙනි වර විතර තමයි මම හිතුවේ සෙකන්ඩ් ටර්ම් එකේ. ඒවලනවා මැත්ස් වලට මාක්ස් දීපු සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 60 ගණන් 70 ගණන් වගේ තමයි යන්නේ. ලොකු පුවටම ගියේ නෑ. දැන් එතකොට මට තේරුණා ඉතින් මැත්ස් කරනවා නම් ඉතින් මම අනිවාර්යෙන් ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරගන්න බෑ මගේ මැත්ස් නොලෙජ් එක. එතකොට මම කරේ ඇත්තටම ඔය ලයිබ්‍රරි ගිහිල්ලා පොත් අරගෙන මේ එක්සර්සයිස් බුක් අරගෙන මම පුළුවන් තරම් විශේෂයෙන්ම ජියොමෙට්‍රිකල් නොලෙජ් එක මම දාලා හදාගත්ත පොත් වලින් මේ එක්ස්ට්‍රා බුක්ස් අරගෙන මම කරා. කරලා මම ඒලෝ කාලෙත් මම අර ඕගොල්ලන්ට මම ඕගොල්ලෝ දුන්න බුක් ලිස්ට් එකක් මම දුන්නා. ඔය බුක් ලිස්ට් එක මම තනි කරම කරලා තියෙනවා. හරි. ඒ බුක් ලිස්ට් එක මම කරන්නේ මගේ වෙනම පොත් තිබ්බා. හරි. මම පුළුවන් තරම් වේගින් කරන එක තමයි මගේ මේ තනි කරම මේ කියන්නේ මගේ ගෝල් එක උනේ. පුළුවන් තරම් ස්පීඩ් මම කොහොමද පොත් ඉවර කරන්නේ. මම යුනිට් එකක් කරලා යුනිට් එකක් කරපු ගමන් ටක් ගාලා එකට දාලා ටියුට් එක නෙමෙයි ටියුට් එකේ ඒ වගේ ගණන් තියෙන පුළුවන්. නමුත් අර මම ගත්තර පොතේ තියෙන ක්වෙස්චන්ස් ටික ඔක්කොම ඉවර කරනවා. හරි. දැන් එතකොට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේ ස්පීඩ් එක හදනවා. මම 10 වසර ග්‍රේඩ් 10 වලදී මම ගත්තේ ස්ටෙප් එක තමයි අතරම මට ග්‍රේඩ් මේ 12 13 වලදී මට උදව් වුණේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ග්‍රේඩ් 10 සෙකන්ඩ් ටර්ම් වෙනකොට මට තිබ්බේ සාමාන්‍ය මේ මාක්ස් අරගෙන තිබ්බේ. ඊට පස්සේ කරලා අන්තිමට මම 9 11 last term එකේ මේ කියන්නේ මේ just before all level exam එකේදී මට මේ 97 තිබ්බා. ඒ 97 තිබ්බ වෙනකම් එතකන් එන්න ලකුණු 5 10 වගේ වැඩි වෙවි තමයි උල්ටා. හරි. ඒක continuous මේ ඉන්ක්‍රිමන්ට් එකක් ආවා. එතකොට ඒක තමයි මම ගිනිච්චේ A level. හරි. ඒකයි මම කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට මේ හැම වෙලේම කියන්නේ ඒකයි. දැන් ඒ වගේ අර අපි හිතලා කරගත්තොත් ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක් ඒ ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස්ලා තමයි පැඳලා ඉන්නේ A level. හරි. ඒකම මේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට කියන්නේ මම ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතලා කරනකන් ඉන්න නැතුව මම මේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට කියන්නේ try this. හරි. ඒ නිසා මේක අමාරුයි. ඒක නිසා මම මේක හිතන්නේ නැතුව මම මේ ලයින්ස් දෙයක් ලියනවා කමන්නේ. එහෙම වෙන්න එපා. ඒක මම කියන්නේ. Please do it very quickly using your mind. Otherwise you cannot improve your mind, no? You have to do some practice as well. නේද? ඒකයි කියන්නේ දැන් අපි මම ඔය හොඳම එක්සැම්පල් එකක් ගන්න හැමදාම ඔය මේ ඇත්ලීට් කෙනෙක් කොහොමද ට්‍රේන් කරන්නේ කියලා. දැන් ඇත්ලීට් කෙනෙක් ට්‍රේන් කරනකොට නිකන් හිතන්න දැන් ඌ දුවන්නේ 100 meters නම් හරි මට ඔලිම්පික්ස් වලට මට එන්නේ 100 meters විතරයි. ඒ නිසා මම 100 meters විතරක් මම දුවනවා කියලා 100 meters විතරක් දුවොත් එimhe ජීවිතේට දුවන්න පුළුවන්. බෑ. ඌ 100 meters දුවන්න ඕන නම් ඔලිම්පික් වල ඌ ඔලිම්පික් වල 100 meters දුවන්න ඌ වටේ උගේ බෑග්ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එක හදාගන්නවා. ඌ එක්සර්සයිස් කරන්න ඕනි, ඌගේ හෙල්ත් එක බලන්න ඕනි, ඌගේ වැඩි වෙන ඩයට් ප්ලෑන් එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනි. ඒ හැමදේම මයින්ඩ් එක මේ කන්සන්ට්‍රේට් කරගන්න ඕනි. හරිද? ඒ කියන්නේ ඌගේ හියරින් ඇබිලිටි එක කන්සන්ට්‍රේෂන් මේ දාගන්න ඕනි. මොකද අර බුලට් එක පත් වෙච්ච ගමන් දුවන්නේ අර ඌගේ රියැක්ෂන් එක හදාගන්න ඕනි. හරිද? ඒක නිසා ඌගේ එක්සෑම් එකට එන්නේ 100 meters දුවන්න කියලා ඌ 100 meters විතරක් කරලා හරියට කවදාවත් එක්සෑම් එකකට යන්න බෑ. ඒ වගේ තමයි මේක. හරිද? මට මේ questions exam එකට එන්නේ නැහැ කියලා හිතලා දැන් හිතනවා දැන් මම අපි basic math course එක කරා. basic math exam එකට එන්නේ නැහැ කියලා හිතලා අපි ඒක මේ අයින් කරනවා. ගණන් ගන්න තුනේ. basic maths කියන්නේ exam එකට යන්නේ නැහැ පුතේ. දැන් මේ ගොඩක් කියලා exam එකට එනව නෙමෙයි තව ඉන්නේ. අපි කතා කරන්නේ මේ ගොඩක් කියලා මම මේ කතා කරන්නේ background. ඕගොල්ලෝ train කරන්නේ exam එකට එන questions කරා. හරි. ඒක මම කියන්නේ මේක හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. මම ඔයගොල්ලෝ හැමෝගෙම මේ කියන්නේ එක්සෑම් එකට එන්නේ මේ ටයිප් කියලා ඒ ටයිප් විතරක් කරන්න ගියොත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ එක්සෑම් එකට එන්නේ ඒ ටයිප් නොවෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක මම කියන්නේ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ එක්සෑම් එකට පොඩ්ඩක් හරි වෙනස් වෙච්ච ගමන් ඔන්න ප්‍රශ්න. ඒකයි අර ඔලිම්පික්ස් වල දුවන්නේ 100 meters විතරක් කියලා හිතලා අර 100 meters දුවන කට්ටිය 100 meters විතරක් දිවුවොත් එහෙම ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ට්‍රේනින් සෙෂන්ස් වලදී ජීවිතේට ඔලිම්පික් දිනන්න බෑ. මේ එක්සැම්පල් එක මේ වගේ තමයි ඕගොල්ලෝ තෝකන බෑග්ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එක හදාගන්න. බෑග්ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එක කියන්නේ මේක. මොකද්ද? mind improvement එක. mind improvement exercises අනිවාර්යෙන් තියෙනවා. Otherwise you cannot do this. අනිවාර්යෙන් තියෙනවා. ඒක එක එක්කෙනා වෙනස් වෙනවා නේද මම ඔය සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියවලදී මම මේ කරපු දේවල් ටික තමයි මම කියන්නේ. මේ normally මම lesson එකක් පාඩම් කරන කාලේ මම මගේ මයින්ඩ් එක කොන්සන්ට්‍රේට් කරගන්න මම මෙඩිටේෂන් කරනවා. ඒ විදිහට ඊළඟට චෙස් වගේ මේ ඒවා මම මල්ලිත් එක්ක මම චෙස් අදිනා ඒ වගේ දේවල් කරා. ඒ වගේ මම අර මයින්ඩ් ඉම්ප්‍රූව්මන්ට් ඇක්ටිවිටිස් මම කරා. මම කියන්නේ හිතලා කරේ නෑ. මම මේක තමයි මගේ මයින්ඩ් ඉම්ප්‍රූව්මන්ට් ඇක්ටිවිටිස් කියලා මම මේක හිතලා කරේ නෑ. මම ඔටෝමැටිකලි මම ගත්ත ඩිසිෂන්ස් එක. හරි. ඒ නිසා අර ඒ කාලේ ඉතින් අපිට මේ වගේ අර මොටිවේෂන් ටොක්ස් එක තිබුණේ නෑනේ. හරිද? මේ දැන් ඉතින් YouTube එකට ගියත් මොටිවේෂන් ටොක්ස්, FB එකට ගියත් මොටිවේෂන්, අරකට ගියත් නේරියත් මොටිවේෂන් ටොක්ස් තියෙන. ඒ වගේ ඒවා තිබුණේ නෑ නැත්තර. මොකද්ද? ඒක නිසා ඒවා ගැන බලලා නෑ. නමුත් අර normally මට හිතලා කරපු දේ. නමුත් මට හිතලා කරපු දේ අවසානයේදී මට ඒක අර හොදක් වුණා. ඒක මම කියන්නේ මම ඒක ඕගොල්ලන්ට හිතලා කරන්න ඉන්නකන් නැතුව මුලින් කියන්නේ ඒකයි. Just do it. Okay? Please do some mind improvement activities. That is compulsory. That is a compulsory one. Because this is a mind game, Puta. This is a mind game. So you have to improve your mind. You have to improve your thinking ability. You have to think fast, very sweet thinking. Okay. You have to improve that. So when you're doing, especially when you're doing MCQ questions, don't write so many steps. If you can take the answers without writing anything, then do that. If you really want to write single step, then write that. And otherwise, don't write any single step in MCQ. In physics MCQ. Okay. I will discuss when I'm discussing this MCQ paper, this MCQ tude, okay, how to think like this. Okay. So when you are doing once I discuss all the things, I will ask you to do the tude. When you are doing tudes, when you are doing MCQ tude, don't write anything, any single step, unless it is unless it is necessary. Okay. So හැමදාම කියන බණම නේද? හැමදාම කියනවා නේද? හැමදාම කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ තාම freshers නිසා මේ වලට. හරිද? So you have to improve your mind. Therefore, you have to do some exercises to improve your mind. හරි. මේක හැම වෙලේම කියන්නේ නැත්තම් ඕගොල්ලෝ ඇත්තටම මේ මොකද්ද කරන්න කියලා දන්නේ නැතුව අනාථ වෙලා යනවා. අන්තිමට මේ තව අවුරුද්දක් විතර ගියාට පස්සේ ඉපා වෙලා. හරි. ඒක නිසා මම මේ කියන්නේ පුළුවන් තරම් එක try කරන්න. ඊළඟට මම මේ දැන් ආයෙත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේක කිව්වට පස්සේ මම මතක් වෙච්ච වෙලාව මම ආයෙත් කියන්නේ මේක online class එකක්. Therefore, this is online class. Therefore, I cannot see your books. So actually, I ask you to send your notes, send your calculations to check whether those are correct or not. But some students may are sending those things, but most of these students do not practice at all. Okay. Because I don't actually the reason I have requested that thing, as this is an online class, actually I cannot see whether you are writing these notes correctly, whether you are doing these kind of questions correctly. I don't know. Sometimes you are given that's why I ask you to please give your responses every time, because from those responses I can take some idea whether that students whether the particular students have understood very well or not. But please send me your note as well as calculations to check whether those are correct or not. Because if you send in your answer sheet, I can check that one and I can advise whether they are suppose there is some shortcut method, and the way of the way I think about that question might be changed the way you may think about that question. Okay. Therefore, your method and my method might be different. Therefore, you may get some knowledge from my method. That is the most important thing. මොකද ඕගොල්ලෝ තව කරලා නැහැ නේ කිසිම. ඒ නිසා මගේ මෙතඩ් එක අනිවාර්යයෙන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට වඩා වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? ඒක නිසා ක්වෙස්චන් එක හදලා නිකන් ඕක තියන් ඉන්න එක මට එවන්න බලන්න. මම අර ටියුට් සබ්මිෂන් මේකක් මේ හදලා තියෙනවා. එකෙක්වත් දාන්න නැහැ ඒක. ටියුට් සබ්මිෂන් ගෲප් එක දැන් මම ආයෙ අලුතෙන් ආව ඇඩ් කරෙත් නැහැ. වැඩක් නැහැ නේ ඒක. අය දාන්නේ නැහැ මොකක්වත් ටියුට් එකක්වත් හදපුවා. හරි. මම කියන්නේ ඕක කරන්න එපා. අන්තිමට අවුරුද්දක් විතර ගියාට පස්සේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙන්නේ මම කියන දේ මොකද්ද කියලා. ඔයාලා මුලින්ම ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන මේ මිස්ටේක්ස් ටික මම කරහා හදාගත්තොත් ජීවිතේට වර්ධින්න තු යන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. ඒක නිසා ටියුට් එක මම ටියුට් සබ්මිෂන් ගෲප් එකට දාන්න වෙන මට පස්සෝ ඉන්න. කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ මට පස්සෝ ඉන්න මම මේ සමින්න මගේ ආන්සර් ෂීට් එක මම බලන්න දෙන්න. එහෙම කරන ළමයි ඉන්න. තාමත් එහෙම දිගටම කරන ළමයි ඉන්න. හරි. මේ වැඩේ අර ඒක දිගටම යන්න මොකද ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතන විදිය මම හිතන විදිය දෙකක්. හරි. මම ඒක ටියුට් සබ්මිෂන් ගෲප් එක දාන්න කියලා කිව්වේ මොකද එතන ඉන්න ඔක්කොම ළමයි. ඔයාලට ගිහිල්ලා චෙක් කරන්න පුළුවන් අනිත් එක්කන හදපු විදිය. හරි. එතකොට එතනින් කියන knowledge එක ඒ knowledge sharing එක පුතේ මාරම important. හරි. ඒකයි මම එතනට දාන්න කිව්වේ. මොකක්වත් දාන්නේ නැහැ නේද? ටියුට් සබ්මිෂන් ගෲප් එකේ මම දන්නේ අපේ පරණ සෙට් එක ඔක්කොම ඉන්නවා ටියුට් සබ්මිෂන් ගෲප් එකේ මට එක ටියුට් එකක්වත් ඒකට සබ්මිට් නම් කරලා නැහැ. අර ඒ දවස්වල බැලලා කීපයක් සබ්මිට් කරා. එච්චරම තමයි එතනින් එහාට නේ. හරි. හොඳයි. කමන්නේ. හැබැයි මම කියන්නේ ඇඩ්‍රස් එක දෙන්නේ ආයෙ පාරක්. ඒක කරන්න මොකද ඒ knowledge sharing එක මාරම වැදගත් ඒ වලදී. හරි. හිතන විදිය ඒ වෙන කෙනෙක් හිතන විදිය අල්ල ගන්නවා කියලා කියන්නේ ඒකෙන් අපිට ගන්න දේවල් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. හරි. okay. Let's explain this again. හරි. මම මේ පොඩි මේ ඇඩ්‍රස් එකක් දුන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පොඩි ඇඩ්‍රස් එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ අතරම පොඩි නෑනේ පොඩක් දිගට ආවා. හැබැයි මේක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අනිවාර්යෙන් කරන්න ඕන දේවල් ටිකක් තියෙනවා. හරි. හොඳයි. ඒ කියන්නේ ආයෙ පාර කියන්නේ ඒක අර අපි කියනවා වගේ නිකන් ළමයි හුරුතල් කරගෙන ඉඳලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ මේක. ඒ වල කියලා කියන්නේ ළමයි හුරුතල් කරගෙන ඉඳලා සරලව මොකක් හරි දෙයක් බොහොම සිම්පල් එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරලා ඒ කියන්නේ මේ සාමාන්‍ය සිම්පල් ගණන් ටිකක් හදලා සිම්පල් මෙතඩ්ස් වලින් ගණන් ටිකක් හදලා ටූල් 10ක විතර ක්වෙස්චන් මේකක් හදලා තේරුමක්. හරි. එහෙම නම් ඉතින් 50% ෆේල් වෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ ඒක මේ හරියට. නේද? ඒ මෙතඩ් එක හරියම 50% ෆේල් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔය හැම 50% ෆේල් වෙන්නේ මුළු ලංකාවේ 50% වෙන්නේ. හරි. ඒකයි මම කියන්නේ මෙතඩ් එක හරියන්නේ නැහැ. හරි. ඒක නිසා හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. මම කියපු දේ especially ඒ ටික අනිවාර්යෙන් ප්‍රැක්ටිසස් කරන්න සහ ආන්සර් ෂීට්ස් මට එවන්න. ආන්සර් ෂීට් එක අනිවාර්යෙන් මට එවන්න මට බලන්න. හරි. Okay. Let's go to the explanation again. Look at this. Look at this again. You can clearly see these two angles are equal to each other. No, 60 and 60. Therefore, if I resolve this component, it is 50 root 3 cos 60. 50 root 3 cos 60. This is into the upward direction. Then if you resolve this component, it also in upward direction, it is plus 60 root 3 cos 60. Look at this. Cos 60 is common for both terms. Therefore, you can add these two coefficient 50 root 3 and 60 root 3. That means 110 root 3 cos 60. 110 root 3 cos 60. Then go to this one. 100 root 3 cos 60, that is the downward direction. So it is minus. Then 90 root 3 cos 60, it also in downward direction. 90 over root 3 cos 60, it also in downward direction. So it also minus. Then the simplification. The simplification. Look at this one. 110, 110 and 100. 110 and 100 and cos 60 is common for both. Not both. For all the three terms. Therefore, I can simplify this one. No? Cos 60 is common. No? Therefore, I can subtract 110 from 100. So it will be 10 root 3 cos 60. 10 root 3 cos 60. Cos 60, no? 10 root 3 cos 60. Cos 60 is half. Therefore, half being 1 over 2. So 2 to 10 will be cancelled out. The remaining is 5. 5 root 3. That is how I simplify these two. Then simplification of this one. 90 over root 3 into cos 60. Cos 60 is half. Half means 90 can be divided by 2. That means 45. 45 over root 3. Then this is, then there is two numbers. One is 5 root 3. Other one is 45 root 3. How to solve this one? You have to take the common denominator. It is root 3. So if it is root 3, that means you have to multiply this one by root 3. If you multiply this one by root 3, root 3 to root 3, 3, 5 into 3 means 50 minus 45. 50 minus 45 is 30, minus 30. Minus 30. Minus 30 over root 3. Therefore, minus 30 over root 3. Minus 30, I can write 30. I can write 30 as 10 into 3. 10 into 3 over root 3. 10 into 3 over root 3. So, root 3 and 3 and root 3 can be cancelled out. If I cancel out 3 and root 3, the remaining is root 3. Because root 3 into root 3 is 3. Root 3 into root 3 is equal to 3. Root 3 into root 3 is equal to 3. So I can cancel out 3 and root 3 divided 3 by root 3. So answer is root 3. So my answer is minus 10 root 3. 10 root 3. So then ek gattad. Can you understand now? Okay, thank you. Okay, then the x component is in this direction, but it is minus 1. That means the real x component is in negative direction, that is 120. The upward y direction, y component is minus, that also minus, that means real y component is in downward direction, that is 10 root 3. 10 root 3. Therefore, the resultant of these two is the square of this one and plus the square of this one. Square root. So the square of this one means 145, 0. Then this is 100 times 3, that means 300. . It is Swiss square root. It is the answer for R. Therefore, R is equal 147, 0, 0. 0, 0 means 100 is a common factor, this one. So I can take 100 out from here, 100 out from here. That means it will be 10. So 10 times 145. 145. 145, I can take it as 12.2, 12.2. Approximately 12.2, no? 12.2 means, that means if I take this one as 12.2, 12.2 or 12.3, it is approximately one. The answer is 122 Newton. 122 Newton. 12.2, 12.3, something like this. Okay. Have you got this answer? Yeah, 10 root 147. 10 root 147. That is 10 root 147. 147 means 12.2. 144 is 12. So I can take it as approximately 12.2. And approximately value. So approximately it is equal to 122. So this is the magnitude. So you have to determine the angle also. So suppose this angle is theta. So suppose this angle is theta. Therefore, tan theta is equal. The opposite side is equal to this one, and adjacent side is 120. That means 10 root 3 over 120 tan theta. T to T, capital T, cancel out. Then tan theta is equal. 12 can be written 4 into 3. 4 into 3. That means that 3 and root 3 will be cancelled out. That means 1 over 4 root 3. Yes. Shouldn't root 3 get cancelled? Means? Here. My answer is what? The angle. The angle tan theta is equal y over x. Y means 10 root 3 y over x. Tan theta is y over x. Yes, it is cancelled. It is cancelled. That's why it is 50. Not cancel. It will be 3. Oh, 5 root 3. 5 times 5 root 3 should be multiplied by root 3. If it is multiplied by root 3 into root 3, 3. 5 times 3 means 15. So 15 should be subtract by 45. If it is subtract 45, the answer is minus 30. Okay, it is not cancelled, it is multiplied with root 3. There no? Minus. No. You have to take the common denominator. Wait. Wait, I will explain it. Okay, well, first I will explain this one. 10 times root y is 10 times root 3, x is 120. Therefore, this one will be cancelled out. Root 3 here, 12 can be written as 4 into 3. 4 into 3. Therefore, again, root 3 to 3 will be cancelled out. The remaining is root 3. So, for tan theta is 1 over 4 times root 3. This is the direction of the 1.2, 1.2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, it's okay. Exam එකට මේ වගේ question එකක් આવුත් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි range එකක් දෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපි මේ වගේ approximate value එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, I will explain that one. There was 5 root 3 minus 45 over root 3. No? What is this? This is a fraction. In here, there is one. There's one here. This is root 3. So, if you subtract, this is a fraction. In this fraction, 1 is the denominator. Minus 45 over root 3. Therefore, the common denominator for this fraction is root 3. How to take the common denominator? How to take the common denominator? You have to multiply this one. If you multiply this one, it will be root 3. Then you have to multiply this one by 45 and this one by root 3. So, 5 into root 3 minus 45. That is how we subtract the fraction. This is a fraction. Minus is in the numerator, not the denominator. There now. Okay. Then go for the second question. Second question. Quickly. Quickly go for the second question. Okay. Shall we check? Have you completed this one? Have you completed this one? Okay. Okay. Shall we discuss? First, the first thing, we have to get the x value, component. So what is the x component? This is 120 root 3. Look at this again. Look at this again. Everyone may now look at the board. Look at the board. Now I'm doing this calculation in a simple method. Okay. Look at this. This angle and this angle both are 60. This angle and this angle both are 60. Therefore, if I resolve this component into x direction, I will have cos 60, no? Cos 60. So that is common, no? So you can add these two as these two value and take the cos value. That means 120 plus 20. 140 root 3 cos 60. 140 root 3 cos 60, both are in positive direction. So 140 root 3 cos 60. Now I have taken all these three factors. Actually, if you think like this, you can do it once. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Everyone, please look at the board. This angle is 60. This angle is 60. This 60. This 60. Okay. Therefore, all the components into the x directions are associated with cos 60. You can all the components associated in x direction are combined with cos 60. Therefore, cos 60 is common for every factors, every forces. Okay. Therefore, I can consider it may consider it as a common factor. Then this one is in positive direction. This one is in positive direction. Therefore, 140 minus 230. 140 minus 230. 140 minus 150. 150 means then minus 10. Minus 10 and minus 18 is minus 90. Therefore, I can write it as minus. So, no, I can. There's no root 3 there. Root 3 there. Root 3 there. This is not common. No? Root 3 root 3 there. Okay. So, 140 plus 140 root 3 cos 60. So, I can add these two at once, these two after that. If there are root 3 here, if there is root 3 and if there is root 3 here, then you can take all the four forces at once. Then minus. Then you can consider these two. 150 plus 80. That means 230 cos 60. 230 cos 60. If you want, I can find another step. Okay. Write that one. 120 root 3 plus if you resolve 120, that means 120 root 3 cos 60. If we resolve 20 root 3, that means plus 20 root 3 cos 60. Then, if we resolve 150, that means minus, it is in minus direction, minus 150 cos 60. If we resolve 80, it also minus because it is in negative direction, minus 80 cos 60. Angles, all the angles are 60 cos 60. So, if you add these two, you will have 140 cos 60. If you add those two, that means you will have 120 cos 60. Okay. Take it out. Okay. Do you get this point? Everyone, I need the responses. Do you get this point? Okay. Others? Thank you. Others? Okay, now you can do the calculations. Cos 60 is half, no? Yeah. Finally. So cos 60 half. Half means you have to divide this one by 2. That means 70. 70 means 70 root 3. 70 root 3 and 120 root 3 can be added. Can be added. Okay. Therefore, if they are added, that means the answer is 190 root 3. 190 root 3 minus this is cos 60. Cos 60 means half. 220 divided by 2. That means 115. 115. 150. You know this number is higher than this number, therefore this will be a positive value. Therefore, x component is in this direction. This value is this one, 190 root 3 minus 150. 150. Then y value. Y value. Look at this one. You can take these two at once. Both are 30, that means cos 30. This one is in upward direction and this one is in downward direction. That means 120 root 3 cos 60 minus 20 root 3 cos 30. That means 100 root 3 cos 30. Then you can take this one at the second one. 150 cos 30. 150 cos 30 in upward direction. 80 cos 30 in downward direction. That means this one is plus, this one is minus. Therefore, 150 minus 80 cos 30. 150 minus 80 is 70. 70 cos 30. Everyone, got it? Oh, I can expand this stuff. How to expand this one? If you make that another, my expand can know. I need responses from everyone. Otherwise, I have to explain again. Okay. I need responses from everyone. Do you get my point? How I made the calculation? Okay, I will explain. Look at everyone again. Actually, if you may do the calculations at once, you have to take similar similar numbers. Okay. In this case, this number has root 3. This number has root 3. Therefore, I cannot do simplifications. 120 root 3 and 150 at once. Okay. Therefore, I have to choose this two. Because these numbers are similar numbers as well as angles are equal. This angle is 30, this angle is 30 also. 32. If the angles are may differ, then I cannot do that. Okay. Look at this. If I resolve this into y direction, it will be positive 120, positive 120 root 3 cos 60, cos 30. If I resolve this one into y direction, this is 120 cos 30, it is in positive direction. Then, if I resolve this one in y direction, if I resolve this one in y direction, it is in negative direction. It is in negative direction. Therefore, minus 20 root 3 cos 30. Look at this. cos 30, cos 30. Therefore, cos 30 is a common factor. Therefore, I can take it out. Then 120 root 3 minus 20 root 3. 120 root 3 minus 20 root 3 means 100 root 3. Then okay. Then again, this one. 150 root 3 in upward direction. 150. Sorry, 150 was 30. In upward direction, therefore it is positive. Then if I resolve 80, it is in negative direction, therefore it is negative 80 cos 30. 150 cos 30 minus 80 cos 30 means 70 minus 70. Sorry, this one is plus. This one plus, sorry. This one plus, sorry. Not minus, this one plus. Plus 70 cos 30. 150 is in upper direction, therefore this is plus. Okay. Then you can do the simplification again. This is root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2 means if 100 divided by 2 means 50. 50 into root 3 means 3. Therefore, 50 into 3 means 150. 150 plus 70 cos 30. 70 cos 30 means cos 30 again. Root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2 means 70 divided by 2 means 35. 35 root 3. It is positive also. Therefore, the y component is 150 plus 35 root 3. 35 root 3. I guess simplify it now. Okay, if you want to simplify it again, you can do that. Otherwise, you can keep it as this. Okay. Then one. Everyone, I need your responses. Do you get my points? Then one. Have you got this answer? Have you got this answer? Okay. Okay. Shall I move to the other question? Another question. Okay. Let's do the question number 1. Question number 1. Okay, I will explain that one. Wait. This one. Look at this. 150. This is 30. This is 30. Therefore, in upward direction, 150 cos 30. As it is in upward direction, it is positive. As it is in upward direction, it is positive. Again, 80 cos 30. It is in negative direction, therefore it is negative. Negative 80 cos 30. 150 cos 30 negative 80 cos 30 means 70 plus 70 cos 30. Okay. Okay. Do the question number 1. Do the question number 1. Okay. Good question. Actually, we have discussed what is the angle of what is the angle between two forces, two vectors? How to find the angle between two vectors? It is the angle between in anti-clockwise direction. It is the angle between anti-clockwise direction. So therefore, if you are given F1 force and F2 force here, and if you are given the angle between F1 and F2 force is 60, that means you have to measure it in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, that is the rule. That's the rule. We are given that thing. I think in our first 2 or 3 lessons, angles means it should be measured by anti-clockwise direction. So if you measure the angle in clockwise direction, it will be negative. Positive and negative. There are positive and negative angles. So normally positive angles are measured in anti-clockwise direction. Okay. Therefore, you have to measure. Once you draw the first force horizontally, then you have to measure it in anti-clockwise direction. Okay. Then what? You do. Okay. So normally, anti-clockwise angles are positive angle, while the others are negative. That means clockwise angles are negative. We have discussed these things in our trigonometry lessons also at the beginning. Okay. Okay. Everyone, look at the board. According to the given data, there are 6 forces. One is 6 Newton, other one is 2√3, other one is 8. The first force is horizontal. Okay. First force is horizontal. Therefore, I can draw this 6 Newton force in x direction because it is for horizontal force. With respect to that force, 2 into √3 Newton force creates 30 Newton with 60 with this force. That means you have to measure it in anti-clockwise direction. Then this angle is equal to 30. And force is 2√3. Then the third force creates 120 angle with 6 Newton force. So if it is create 120 angle with 6 Newton force, means this one is equal to 180 minus theta. Therefore, it is equal to 60. Okay. Then මෙතන මෙහෙම අර එක ගොඩේ 120 දාගන්න එපා කරන්නේ. හරි අමාරුනේ මේ solve කරන්න. So 120 දාගන්න එතකොට මෙතන 60 දාගන්න. That is 60. Okay. Okay. Now you have to this is a very easy question. Now you have to resolve this vector system into x and y directions. If you resolve this in x direction, now 6 Newton is there. It is in x direction. It is already in x direction, therefore no need to resolve it again. Then 2 times √3. If you resolve this into x direction, that is plus 2√3. What is that? 2√3. Yeah. 2√3. 2√3. Yes, cos 30. Cos 30 is equal to. Cos 30 is equal to. Okay. Shall we write it? Cos 30. Then this one minus, because if I resolve this one in this direction, it will be minus 8 cos 60 minus 8 cos this, cos 60, 8 cos 60. This one. No. You can write 120. But according to the given data, 120 is the angle between 6 and 8. Now 6 is in this direction. No, it is in x direction. Therefore, 120 means from here to here. From here to here, 120. From here to here, 120 means this gap, this angle is 60. Because entire angle is 180. No? That's why I explain again. Okay? Because if you write this 120, it is useless, no? It is useless. 120 means it is from the angle between any direction, no? Okay? If you want to resolve this 8 Newton force, you have to determine either this angle or either this angle, either this one or either this one. No? You have to determine either this angle or this angle if you want to resolve 8 Newton force. Okay. Therefore, if I write 120 here, it is useless. That's why, that is the reason I wrote 8, 60 degree here instead of 120. Okay. Everyone, I need responses. Everyone, I need responses. Do you get my calculations? Okay. Others? Oh, any responses? Only 3. Everyone, 60 දැම්මේ කියලා. මේ 60 දැම්මේ මෙතන 120 දාලා දෙන්න මම නැහැ පුතේ. මෙතන 120 දාලා මෙතන 120 කියලා කියන්නේ මේ කැල 60 කියන්නේ. හරි? ඒකයි මම 60 දැම්මේ. මොකද මම මෙයාව රිසෝල්ව් කර ගන්න ඕන නම් කොහොම මේ ඇන්ගල් එක ගන්න ඕනි. නැත්නම් මේ ඇන්ගල් එක ගන්න. මට 120 තිබ්බා කියලා මම රිසෝල්ව් කරන්න බෑ. Okay. Now you can simplify this one at once. How to do that? Don't write any single step here. Write the answer. Write the answer. Take the answer. Don't write any single step. Okay. Write the answer. Root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2 means 2 to 2 will be cancelled out. Root 3 into root 3, 3. That means 6 plus 3 means 9. 6 plus 3 is 9. Okay. Then 8 into half. That means 8 divided by 2. That means 4. 9 minus 4. 9 minus 4 means 9 minus 4. What is the answer? 5, no? Okay. Then 5 Newton. Then resolve it in my direction. If I resolve it in my direction, then there won't be any component from here because it is in x direction. Then from this force 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, but do you have any question? Okay. 2 root 3 cos 60 cos 60. It is in upward direction, therefore it is positive. Then 8 cos 30. Hey, this angle is 30, no? This angle is 30. Therefore, if I resolve this in my direction, it is in upward way. Therefore, it is positive. And angle is 30. That means 8 cos 30 plus 8 cos 30. Now, give me the answer without writing any step. Give me the answer without writing any step. Do the calculations using your mind. Yeah, answer it. Answer again. 5 root 3, yes, 5 root 3. From here, there is half puta, half means 2 to 2 will be cancelled out. So root 3 here. From here, root 3 over 2. Therefore, 8 divided by 2 means 4. 4 root 3, root 3. That means 4 plus root 3. That means 5 root 3. Here root 3, here 4 root 3. Root 3 plus 4 root 3 means 5 root 3. Okay. It is in upward direction. It is in upward direction. So this one is 5 Newton. Sorry. Y component is 5 times root 3 Newton. X component is 5 Newton. Therefore, R, suppose this is R and this is theta. Theta means angle between horizontal and vertical. Therefore, R is equal, how much? R is equal here. What is the value of R? What is the value of R? Yes, 10 Newton. If you want to take the value of R, look at this. This is common for these two forces. 5 is common. 5 is common. Therefore, if you want to take the square and then again you have to take the square root. Therefore, again you will have 5. Again you will have 5. But in this case, here there is 5 into 1. 5 is 5 into 1. 5 into 1. There is 5 into 1. There is 5 into root 3. 5 into root 3. So I can simply take the square root as simply take 5. So you can take 5 as a common factor. Then, because if you multiply, if you square this value and again you take the square root, you will have the same value. Therefore, 5 is a common factor for those components. Therefore, I can write it as a common factor and take the square root of other two numbers. What is the square of root 3? Square of root 3 is 3. Square of 1 means 1. 1 plus 4 means, 1 plus 3 plus 1 means 4. The square root of 4 is 2. 5 into 2, 10. 5 into 2, 10. Therefore, answer is 10. Okay. If you didn't get my answer, my calculation here, then I will do it in here. Look at this one. Square root is square of this one. Square of this one means square of 25. Square of 5 is square of 5 is 25. 25 into 3, that means 75. Plus square of this one is 5. 5 means square of this one is square of 5. That means 25. So that is 100. The square of 100 is 10. The square of 100 is 10. That also correct. That also correct. But මෙතන වාට මේක ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් මේ ස්ටෙප් එක ලියන්න තමයි MC වල ගන්න පුළුවන්. MC වල මේ ස්ටෙප් එක ලියන්න ඕනේ. මේක ගන්නවා. ඔය කියන්නේ common factor එක. එහෙනම් මෙයාගේ ස්ක්වයර් එක ප්ලස් මෙයාගේ ස්ක්වයර්ගේ ස්ක්වයර් රූට් එක. මෙයාගේ ස්ක්වයර් එක ප්ලස් මෙයාගේ ස්ක්වයර්ගේ ස්ක්වයර් රූට් එක. මෙයාගේ ස්ක්වයර් එක කියන්නේ 3, මෙයාගේ ස්ක්වයර් එක කියන්නේ 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. The square root of 1 is 2. Therefore, 2 into 5. 2 into 5. So if you are given this kind of question for MCQ, then you can easily go for this one. Okay. This is another simple method. Okay. Okay. Therefore, the magnitude is 10 Newton. What is the angle? Angle is y over x. Tan theta is equal to 1. Y over x. Therefore, tan theta is equal to y over x. Y over x. Y means this side. X means this side. That means 5 root 3. 5 root 3 over 5. 5 to 5 will be cancelled out. Tan theta is equal to root 3. Tan theta is equal to root 3. That means theta is equal to 60. 60. There now. Okay. Everyone, I need your responses. There now. Yes. Others? What about others? හොඳයි මම පුංචි දෙයක් කියන්නම් මගේ මේ එකපාරට ගන්න එක ඔයාලට දෙකපාරට අහුවෙන්නේ නැත්නම් මගේ ඇඩ්වයිස් එක රෙකෝඩින් එකයි බලන්න මගේ ඇඩ්වයිස් එක රෙකෝඩින් එකයි බලන්න හරිද හැබැයි මම ඇඩ්වයිස් දෙන්නේ නැහැ මේවා අර මේ වන් ටයිම් මේ සිම්ප්ලිෆයි කරන්නේවා තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ස්ටෙප්ස් ගොඩකට ගිහිල්ලා කරන්න මම ඇඩ්වයිස් දෙන්නේ නැහැ හරිද ස්ටෙප්ස් ගොඩකට ගිහිල්ලා කරන්න මම ඇඩ්වයිස් දෙන්නේ නැහැ මම කරන ඇඩ්වයිස් එක තමයි recording එක ඉස්සරහ බලන්න. හරි. recording එක ඉස්සරහ බලලා ආයෙත් කය පාරක් grab කරගන්න my calculation එක. හරි. මම මේ කරන්නේ පුතේ හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න මම මේ කරන්නේ ඕගොල්ලන්ව මේ මට්ටමට ගන්න ඕන. මේ level එකට ඕගොල්ලෝ එන්න මේ level එකට එන්න නැතුව අපිට simplify කරන්න බෑ මේක. හරි. මම තාම ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ මේක මේව කරන්නේ නැහැ. මම තාම ඕගොල්ලන්ට මේ ලෙවල් එකට එන්න ඕනේ කියලා එහෙම කියන්නේ නැහැ තාම මොකද ඕගොල්ලෝ ඕගොල්ලෝ කරමු ගාම හරි ඒක නිසා උඩක් වෙලාවට ගොඩක් ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස් ලට එකපාර මේක ග්‍රැෆ් කරගන්න බෑ හරිද මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ හුරු වෙලා නැහැ නමුත් දැන් හුරු වෙන්න ඕන ආයෙ පාරක් කරගෙන දැන් ආයෙත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ට්‍රේන් වෙන්න ඕනේ හරිද මේක ට්‍රේන් වෙනකොට පුතේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට මට වඩා හොඳ ෂොට්කට් හම්බ වෙන්න පුළුවන් හරිද මම හිතන්නේ මම ඒ කාලේ මම මේක අපි ජූලයි වලට පටන් ගත්තේ ජූලයි වල පටන් ගත්තා මම හිතන්නේ මේ කාලේම මම ඕගොල්ලන්ට කිව්වා පුළුවන් නම් shortcut methods හොයාගන්න කියලා multiplications වලට නේ how to multiplication two numbers with two other numbers how to multiply one number by 25 or 11 or 9 or something like that okay you have to find some shortcut methods. How to multiply two numbers with two different numbers. That kind of things. You have to have some shortcut methods. ඒවා try කරලා තියාගන්න. මොකද අපි ඒකට අනිවාර්යෙන් මෙව වෙන්න ඕනි. හරි. ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. බැරි වෙලා හරි කාට හරි grab කරගන්න බෑ නම් ආයෙත් පාරක් කියන්නේ grab කරගන්න බෑ නම් එකපාරට මේක grab කරගන්න බෑ නම් පුතේ recording එකයි පාරක් බලන්න එතන pause කරලා ආයි බලන්න මොකද කරේ කියලා හරි. ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. හැබැයි මම ඇඩ්වයිස් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ආයෙ පාරක් මම කියන්නේ ලෝන් මෙතඩ්ස් වලට යන්න. ලෝන් මෙතඩ්ස් වලට මම මේක කරනකොට ඕගොල්ලන්ට ඇත්තටම ඊට වඩා හොඳට තේරෙනවා. ඇත්තටම මම මේක ඉන්සරේ මේක මෙහෙම මේ විදිහට රිසෝල්ව් කරලා මේ විදිහට රිසෝල්ව් කරලා එහෙම කරන්න කිව්වොත් මේක අමාරු නැහැ. හැබැයි ඕගොල්ලෝ හදාගන්න කවදාවත් මම ඒක ආයෙ පරපොන්. මම සාමාන්‍ය ස්ටෙප් දෙකෙන්ම කරනවා. මේක එකපාර ෂෝට්කට් මෙතඩ් එකකින් කරලා ඊට පස්සේ මම ආයෙසර ලෝන් මෙතඩ් එකෙන් මම කියා දෙනවා. ඒක මම කිව්වේ මගේ රෙකෝඩින් එක ආයෙසර බලන්න කියලා. ලෝන් මෙතඩ් එක විතර තියෙනවා. හැබැයි මම ඇඩ්වයිස් දෙන්නේ නැහැ ලෝන් මෙතඩ් එකට යන්න කියලා. මේක ලියන්න ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. ලියන එක ලියන්න බැරි වෙලාවක් කරදුනොත් අයි චෙක් කරගන්න බෑනේ. ලියන එක ලියන්න. හරි. හැබැයි simplifications වලදී පුළුවන් තරම් ස්ටෙප්ස් අඩු කරගන්න. හරි. ඊළඟට මම ආයෙසර මේ දැන් කටිට කියනවා මම මේ නොටිස් එක දෙනවා කියලා හිතාගෙන ඉති වෙනම මෙසෙන්ජර් එකක් විදියට මේ ගෲප් එකේ දැන් කොහොමද පුතේ ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ ෆස්ට් ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් එනවා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ දැන් මේ පාර ටර්ම් එක පටන් ගත්ත පස්සේ ඔයගොල්ලන් ගොඩක් ඉස්කෝල ආයෙසර පටන් ගනි සමහර ඉස්කෝල දැන්ට පටන් ගන්න තියෙන්නේ විශේෂයෙන් මේ ප්‍රයිවට් ඉස්කෝල්ස් ගවර්න්මන්ට් ඉස්කෝල්ස් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට පටන් ගන්නේ මේ ටර්ම් එකේ එතකොට ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් එනවා ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් එන නිසා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් එක කාලෙලා පොඩ්ඩක් ඕගොල්ලන්ට පේපර්ස් වගේක් කරනවා හරිද හේතුව ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් එකේ මාර්ක් ගන්න එපා හරිද මොකද පළවෙනි එක තමයි ඔන්නතන දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට රෝල් වල හොඳට මාර්ක්ස් අරන් ඉන්න කට්ටිය ෆස්ට් ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් එක දීපු ගාම එතනම ඉවරයි මොකද සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ෆස්ට් ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් එක මැත්ස් වල සාමාන්‍ය පොඩි මැත්ස් බයෝ දෙකම මැත්ස් බයෝ වල 70 මාර්ක්ස් ගන්නවා කියන්නේ කෙනා අමාරු වැඩ. හරි 70 මාර්ක්ස් කියලා කියන්නේ ඒක මාර මේ ලොකු ඇත්තම තමයි. හරිද? නමුත් ඒක අපිට මොකද අපි මොකද සාමාන්‍ය ඒ වලදී අපි සාමාන්‍ය 90 95 85 ගත්ත මේ කියන්නේ ගොඩක් කට්ටියට ළමයිට 85 වල උඩ ගත්ත ළමයි ඉන්නේ මේ. හරිද? අපහරු ඉන්න මම කියන්නේ ගොඩක් කට්ටිය ගත්තොත් එහෙම අනිවාර්ය 75 වල උඩින් ගත්ත කට්ටියනේ පුතේ මෙතන ගොඩක් කට්ටිය ඉන්නේ. හරිද? නැත්තම් ඉතින් 9s දාලා 8s දාලා 7s දාලා ඉන්න බෑ. හරිද? ඒ නිසා ගොඩක් ළමයි ඉන්නේ 75 above ගත්ත කට්ටිය වලස. හැබැයි ඒ level 75 above ගන්නවා කියලා කියන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක ඇත්තටම හරි අමාරු දෙයක්. හරිද? ඒ කියන්නේ මගේ ජීවිතේත් මම හිතන්නේ මගේ මේ ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් එකක 75 විතර තියෙන්නේ මම හිතන්නේ ෆස්ට් and සෙකන්ඩ් ටර්ම්ස් තිබ්බයි ඊට පස්සේ දුන්නේ නැහැ අතන. හරිද? ඇත්ත කතාවද මේක තමයි 75 ටර්ම් උඩින් ගන්න බෑ. හරිද? එහෙම ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා කියන්නේ අනිවාර්යෙන් ෆස්ට් එක යනවා කියන්නේ. ෆස්ට් එක කියලා කියන්නේ පැටි ඔතන බැරි කම නැහැ. පුළුවන්. මේ කියන්නේ මාර හොඳයි ඒක බලන්න ඒ වගේ. ඒ කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඒක තමයි ඇත්ත කතාවද. හැබැයි අපි ට්‍රේන් වෙන්න ඕනේ ඒක. මොකද 70 ගොඩක් ළමයි අර ඩිමෝටිවේට් වෙන පළවෙනි තැන ඕන කරනවා. ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් ලකුණු. ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් ලකුණු කියලා කියන්නේ ගොඩක් ළමයි දැන් අර ඕල් කාලේ 75 above ගත්ත ළමයා ඒ level වෙනකොට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 50 විතර යනකොට බය වෙනවා ඇත්තටම. අත කරන්නේ බය වෙනවා. ඒ ළමයාට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ මේක අයිස්වරක් රිකවර් කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා ළමයාට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද තාම ඕගොල්ලෝ කරලා තමයි මේ මයින්ඩ් එකේ ඉන්නේ. මේ මයින්ඩ් එකේ ඉඳලා ඇවිල්ලා ෆස්ට් ටර්ම් එකේදී අතරම මේ එන ක්වෙස්චන්ස් තනි කරම ක්වෙස්චන් ටයිප් එක වෙනස්. හරි. දැන් ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔයාලට හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න ෆස්ට් ටර්ම් එක සමහර වෙලාවට ඔය මාර්ක් එක ආවා කියන්නේ එක්සෑම් එකේ මාර්ක් එක නෙමෙයි. ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. හරි. මාත් අද කරලා තියෙන මම ඒකයි කියන්නේ මම ඒකයි මගේ දෙවන්ට බයවල තිබ්බේ මේ ටර්ම්ස් දෙකක් වගේ තමයි. හරි. මේ ගන්න බෑ අතට මොකද අපි කියන්නේ වෙනස් කරනවා. එක පාට කියන්නේ අපි ඒකට යන විදිය වෙනස්. හරි. මොකද අපි ක්වෙස්චන් පේපර් කරන්නේ නැහැ නේ පුතේ. ඇත්ත කරන්නේ. දැන් අපි ඒ කාලේ කරන්නේ නැහැ ඇත්තට. හරිද? ක්වෙස්චන් දැන් අපි දැන් ඔය මේ ක්ලාසස් වල දැන් අපි ආයිස් කරනවා ළමයිට. නමුත් අපි ඒ කාලේ එහෙම මේ එක්සෑම් එකට ක්වෙස්චන්ස් පේපර් කරලා රෙඩි වෙනවා එහෙම දෙයක් තුන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට අපි පේපර් එකක් කරන්න ගන්න කෙලින්ම එක්සෑම් එකේ. එක්සෑම් එකේදී පේපර් එකක් කරන්න ගත්තට පස්සේ ඇත්තටම ඒක මේ හිතන තරම් ලේසි නෑ. ඒක අමාරුයි. අපි කොච්චර දන්නවද වැඩක් නෑ. එතන ගියාට පස්සේ ඒක වෙනම ආර්ට් එකක්. හරි. ඒ නිසා මම මේ ඒකයි මම කිව්වේ මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පොඩ්ඩක් එක්සෑම් පේපර්ස් කරවන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ ඊළඟ ටර්ම් එක මේ පටන් ගන්නකොට එක්සෑම් පේපර්ස් කරවන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ මම සිලෙක්ට් කරගත්තේ කොළඹ ඉස්කෝල වල පාස් පේපර්ස් ටික. සාමාන්‍ය අවුරුදු 5ක් විතර. ඒක ඕගොල්ලන්ටත් ඕන පර්චේස් කරන්න බුණා මම හිතන්නේ ඔය විශාඛක ඉස්සරහා තියෙන පුතේ අර මේ print shop එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ book shop එකක් නේ print shop එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක නමත් A level pass papers වුණා එකක් තියෙන්නේ. මේ ඒකේ තියෙනවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් term by terms මේ medium by mediums ඒ කියන්නේ වෙනවා මේ pass papers ගන්න. ඉස්කෝල වල. රොයල් විශාඛා දේවි සිරිමාවත වල ඒව පාස් පේපර්ස් ගන්න තියෙනවා. මේ කොළඹට ළමෙක් ඉන්නවා නම් කොළඹට ළමයිට එතනින් ගන්න පුළුවන් වුණා. පාස් පේපර්ස් මාගාව තියෙනවා ටික මම ස්කෑන් කරලා දාන්නම්. මේ එතකොට මේ පේපර්ස් කරන පොඩ්ඩක් හුරු වෙමු. මොකද එකපාර යනවට වඩා එකපාර ගිහිල්ලා අර බය කරගන්නවට වඩා ඒක හොඳයි. හරිද? ඒ නිසා මේක වුණාට පස්සේ අපි මේ measuring instrument කාලිබර් කරනවා. measuring instrument කොටස ඉවරනාට පස්සේ සහ ඒකේ ඔක්කොම ඉවර කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඒක සාමාන්‍ය ලීස් කවුන්ට් එකම අපි කරාට පස්සේ පේපර්ස් කරන්න ගන්න. හරිද? හැබැයි එතන ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ අනිවාර්ය කමිට්මන්ට් එක ඕනේ. පේපර් එකක් දැම්මට පස්සේ මේ within time කරලා මට ඒ ආන්සර් ෂීට්ස් ටික එවන්න. මොකද මේක ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාස් එකක් පුතේ. ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාස් එක නිසා මට ෆිසිකලි ඕගොල්ලෝ ගාවට කියලා පේපර්ස් වල දෙන්න බෑ. මොකද ලංකාවේ වටේ ළමයි ඉන්නේ. හරිද? ඒ නිසා මේ ක්වෙස්චන් පේපර් එක මට පස්සේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට පාස් වෙලා අනිවාර්යෙන් ආන්සර්ස් ටික දීලා අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්න. හරිද? ඒ නිසා ඒකට අනිවාර්යෙන් හුරු වෙමු. අපි ඒ පේපර්ස් කරන්න අපි ඩේට් එක දාගමු. හරිද? ඒ නිසා පුළුවන් නම් එක්ක ඉන්නවනම් පේපර්ස් ටික පර්චේස් කරගන්න. නැත්නම් මම ස්කෑන් කරලා දෙනවා කොහොමද? මේ මම කිව්වේ අපි අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒවට ටාගට් කරලා තියෙන නිසා. හරි? හොඳයි. Okay. Okay. Now you can complete this tute up to this level, okay? Okay. Now, okay, before me going to the next session, do you have any questions to ask regarding this vector addition? Now I'm going to start vector subtraction. Before starting that, do you have any questions regarding this? Please let me know if you have. No. Okay. Now 10:55. Take a small break. Take a small break. About 10 minutes. And please come after 11:05. Okay. We will start 11:05 because we have to start freshly. Therefore, you can take a small breaks. Then please come 11:05. Then we will start vector subtraction. Okay. Logout in on now. Instagram. Okay. Okay. Shall we start? The new lesson is vector subtraction. Vector subtraction. So write a topic, main topic, vector subtraction. Vector subtractions. Vector subtraction. Okay. Okay. Subtraction of two vectors. How to do that? Okay. Suppose we are given two vectors. This is Q. This is P. And we have to subtract P and Q. Okay. How to do that? Look at this. Subtracting means you have to find this vector. You have to find this vector P minus Q vector. Okay. Actually, that can be written as P plus minus Q, no? P plus minus Q. This subtraction can be written as an addition. Addition between what? Addition between the one vector and the negative vector of the other. Okay. Therefore, subtraction actually we can represent a subtraction as an addition. Addition between a vector and the negative vector of the other. What is the negative vector? Tell me. Now I want the answers. What is the negative vector? Very good. Others? What is the negative vector? What is negative vector again? Negative vector is the vector, yeah. Yeah. It is the vector which is same in magnitude. That should be stated. Same in magnitude, but opposite in direction. Opposite in direction. Okay. Therefore, Therefore, negative vector is the vector which is same in magnitude and opposite in direction. So look at the logic again. If we are given two vectors to subtract, then subtraction can be written as an addition between a vector and the negative vector of the other vector. Negative vector is the vector which is same in magnitude and opposite in direction. Therefore, if we are given this kind of vector to subtract, that means I have to add P, I have to add minus Q to P. I have to add minus Q to P. Then, how to construct the minus Q vector? How to construct the minus Q vector? I have to add minus Q to P. So, how to create a minus Q vector? Give me the answer quickly. How to create the thing? Actually, I have to draw a vector which is equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Now, actually, there are two vectors. Now, there are two vectors which is, there are two vectors P and Q acting at the same point, no puta? Acting at the same point. This is point. Suppose this point is A. Acting at the same point. So if you want to subtract P minus Q, then you have to take the minus Q vector. Minus Q vector. How to take minus Q vector? So you have to draw a vector which is same in magnitude and opposite in direction and acting at the point A. Acting at the point A. Okay. So how to draw this one? So you have to draw a vector which is equal in length and opposite in direction. Opposite in direction. This vector is the minus Q vector. This is the minus Q vector. Okay. Did you get my point? Anyone? මෙතන කරන ලොකු වැරද්දක් මම කියන්නම් ගොඩක් අය minus q vector එක ගන්න කිව්ව ගමන් මොකද කරන්නේ මේ vector එක අනිත් පැත්ත හරවනවා මේ vector එක අනිත් පැත්ත හරවන්න එපා ඒක වැරදි okay don't invert this vector okay you have to subtract this vector and this vector you have to subtract this vector and this vector so don't invert this one don't invert that one okay you have to construct another vector which is the minus vector of this one then you can add these two okay you have to construct minus vector then now you can add these two how to add minus q and p how to add minus q and p tell me how to add minus q and p give me the answers quickly Tanga here.
So you can take the resultant.
Sorry?
You can get the resultant.
Yeah, how to get the resultant, Puta? Yes, very good. How to get the resultant?
Use the vector parallelogram theory.
Yes. Very good, very good. You have to now I can construct or I can draw the vector parallelogram and take the resultant of minus q and p. Minus q and p. Then look at this. Now I have to complete the vector parallelogram. Complete the vector parallelogram. Okay. Okay. This may lower part is the vector parallelogram. Okay. Suppose this is B, C, and D. Therefore, this AC vector is the resultant vector of P and minus Q. So this is equal to P vector plus minus Q vector. It is equal to P vector plus minus Q vector. So that means it is equal to P minus Q. P minus Q. This vector is equal to P minus Q. Okay. What is the angle between P and minus Q? What is the angle between P and minus Q? Please give me. What is the angle between P and minus Q? Give me the answers quickly. What is the angle between P and minus Q? Yes, 180 minus theta. As this is theta, yes. As this is theta, this should be 180 minus theta. බලන්න දේවල්. Those are the logics. This is 180 minus theta. Okay. 180 minus theta, this one. Okay. So if you apply the vector parallelogram theorem into ABCD parallelogram, you will have this one, no? Suppose let's see. Therefore, applying vector parallelogram to ABCD. Apply vector parallelogram to ABCD. I can write AC squared is equal, AC squared is equal, AC squared is equal to square of this one. The square of this one means P squared plus Q squared, Q squared, no? Plus 2PQ. Don't write minus Q. Don't write minus Q because when we were proving this one, we have taken the length only. So the length only. It is Q. It is P. Q and P. Okay. P square plus Q square plus 2PQ. The angle between these two. What is the angle between these two? 180 minus theta. Therefore, cos 180 minus theta. Cos 180 minus theta. Okay. Okay. Normally, subtraction represent by D. D means difference, no? Normally, subtraction represent is normally subtraction is represented by D. Okay. Therefore, I can write it as D. This is D. Difference. D vector. Normally, resultant is represented by R. Subtraction is represented by D. Difference. Okay. Okay, Pita. So, D squared is equal to P squared plus Q squared plus. Look at this. Cos 180 minus theta. Cos 180 minus theta. I can write it as theta angle. No? Cos 180 minus theta is equal to minus cos theta. Minus cos theta. No? Therefore, 2PQ minus cos theta. 2PQ minus cos theta. That means D squared is equal P squared plus Q squared minus 2PQ cos theta. Now, this is the equation for D squared. The only difference is there's minus. But the most important thing is this angle. What is this angle? It is theta. Theta means the angle between two forces. Two forces, not the angle between Pn minus Q, not the angle between Pn minus Q. It is angle between P and Q. Theta is angle between P and Q. Therefore, I can remember this one. Actually, it is very much similar to the previous one. R squared. The only difference is, if it is R squared, this will be plus. If it is D squared, this will be minus. Okay. Okay. Everyone, I need responses. Do you understand this one? Oh. Here. responses. I need responses from everyone. If you want any clarifications, then I can do the clarifications as quick as possible. Okay. Responses නැක් ගැන තේරුණා කියන එක. හරි. හරිද?
Sir, microphone.
හරි? Sorry?
Sir, can't hear you.
Sorry?
Sir, microphone. I guess we can't hear you.
I cannot hear you. Your voice is not clear.
Oh no, sir. Sorry, sir. My bad. My bad. The problem from my side. Yeah, we have.
Okay, okay. Okay, Bhuti. Look at this again. Look at this again. P minus Q means P plus minus Q. P plus minus Q. That means you have to add P into minus Q. Therefore, I have to construct minus Q vector here. So how to create the how to construct the minus Q vector? You have to draw the same length but in other direction. Okay. Then you will have minus Q vector. Then you have to add these two vectors. That means how to add the two vectors? I have to use vector paradigm theorem. Therefore, I have to complete vector paradigm. Once I complete the vector paradigm, then I can apply the law, the equation. What is the equation? It is equal AC square means this the resultant square of resultant is equal to the square of this one, square of this one, and plus 2 times this length and this length. 2 times this length and this length into cos value of this angle. Cos value of this angle. That means cos 180 minus theta. Therefore, now 3%. The difference, so subtraction as D. So D squared is equal P squared plus Q squared plus 2PQ cos 180 minus theta. Cos 180 minus theta equal to minus cos theta. Okay. Then this will be the equation. Okay. How to remember that thing? Now I can take another relationship between this one. Look at this. Okay. I can complete this paradigm also. I can complete this paradigm too. Okay. Suppose I have complete this paradigm, this one. If I complete this one, suppose A, B, C, D, E, F. Suppose once I complete this paradigm, look at this. You know, from AE, I will have the resultant of P and Q. Okay. Look at this one. These two sides are equal. And these two sides also equal, no? These two sides also equal as they are opposite sides. Okay. Then this one and this one is parallel, and this one is parallel because both are parallelograms. Both are parallelograms. And this one also parallel to each other. Sorry, this one also parallel to each other. That means this parallelogram and this parallelogram are same. No? Therefore, both are same. Length are same, parallel to each other. Therefore, both are same in size. Both parallelogram are same in size. Look at this. This side and this side are equal. And this side and this side are equal. All are equal. This side and this side are equal. This side and this side is equal. Are equal. Therefore, both parallelogram are same in size. So, if I draw this diagonal, what will happen? Therefore, as these two parallelograms are equal, AC length should be equal to FD. and they are parallel to each other. They are parallel to each other. They are parallel to each other. Therefore, FD is a equal vector to AC. FD is a equal vector to AC. Okay. Therefore, after writing this one, I can write this one. Oh. Therefore, AC vector is equal to FC vector. That means this FD. That means FD, the FD vector represents the difference or subtraction between P and Q. P and Q. Therefore, I can remember this one using the same paragraph without drawing this one. But this is the basic. But this is the basic. You have to remember how we derive this equation. You have to remember that one. Okay. You have to remember how we derive this equation using this paragraph, ABCD paragraph. But I can remember the result using this single paragraph. You know the diagonal AE. The diagonal AE gives the resultant force. Now, the diagonal FD gives the difference. Therefore, AE diagonal gives the R while FD diagonal gives the D. So, I can simply remember that thing. The difference is giving the other diagonal of the vector paragraph. Okay. The result, the resultant vector, sorry, not the result, the difference, the magnitude of difference is equal to P squared plus Q squared minus 2PQ cos theta. Everyone, I need responses. Did you get my point?
Understood, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
Buddha. Okay. We can write this one. We can write this one. Sub. Okay. Write another topic. Suppose there are two vectors Suppose there are two vectors. No? What is the sentence? Sorry, what is the sentence? Suppose there are two vectors. No?
Yeah. Yes.
Suppose there are two vectors P and Q, P and Q, P and Q, acting at point A. The angle between two forces, the angle between two vectors, the angle between two vectors is theta. Okay. Okay, draw this figure only. This is P. The angle is theta. The point is A. Draw this figure only. This figure. मैं राउंड करूं figure की तरफ कर Okay, right under that, right under that. Suppose we have to take P vector minus Q vector, this one, P minus Q. Suppose we have to take P vector minus Q vector. Then it can be written as follows. It can be written as follow. It can be written as the follow. P minus Q vector is equal P plus minus Q. P plus minus Q. P minus Q vectors can be written. P minus Q can be written P plus minus Q. Right under that. That means subtraction means an addition of a vector, into the negative vector, of the other negative vector of the other vector. Right under that, in another paragraph, subtraction is represented Subtraction can be represented by this one, D vector. Don't write vector. This is the symbol. Okay? Okay, right under that. Right under that. As a subtraction can be represented as an addition. As a subtraction can be represented as an addition. We can use vector parallelogram theorem. Vector parallelogram theorem. We can use vector parallelogram theorem we can use vector parallelogram theorem to determine the difference to determine the difference of two vectors. Okay. The following steps can be used the following steps can be used in this case. This step number one. Construct the minus vector. Construct the minus q vector. Construct minus q vector. Construct minus q vector acting at point A. We have to draw. We have to draw. We have to draw a line segment. A line segment we have to draw a line segment which is equal in magnitude, which is equal in magnitude is equal in magnitude and opposite to Q vector, opposite to Q vector. The second point, complete the vector parallelogram, complete the vector parallelogram, complete the vector parallelogram complete the vector parallelogram to add P and minus Q, P and minus Q. Complete the vector parallelogram to add P and minus Q. Third point, apply the vector parallelogram theorem. The vector parallelogram theorem to determine the resultant of P and minus Q, P and minus Q.
Sir,
Sorry?
sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, small question. What if the angle was 90 degrees? If the angle was 90 degrees, then
Actually,
the
I will explain.
the
There are
addition
lot-
and the subtraction would be the same, except for the direction will be different, but still, sir.
I will give you a lot of questions regarding that. Okay, there are a lot of relationships. What if A minus B equal A plus B? What if angle? What if the A plus B is perpendicular bisector to A minus B? What will happen? Then the equation also. What is the angle theta? If the angle theta is 90, what will happen? I will give those. Okay, those are some features of this theorem. I will explain after this lesson. Okay, you have to remember that thing. Very good question. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, we have discussed some features of
Okay, sir.
vector paradigm theorem. No, vector paradigm theorem. Same thing in here. There are a lot of features in this theorem also. Okay, this. Now you can write this one. Okay, up to this. Up to this. You can complete the vector diagram. Vector paradigm. You can complete the vector paradigm. Then you can write from here to here, here to here, here to here. Don't write this one. Don't write this one. Complete the vector paradigm and from here to here. Actually, in your all levels, please listen to me while you are drawing this one. Please listen to me. Don't stop writing. Just listen. When you're all level, I think there was actually there was a unit. Actually, not one unit. 2 or 3 units relevant to paradigm. No, the features of paradigms. You have discussed in your level. No? Features of.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
You have to remember that unit. You have to remember that unit very well. Okay. If you can remember that unit, you can easily go to the answers. You have to remember the features of each and every type of paradigms. Squares, then rectangles, rhombus, those kind of fun. Those are some special paradigms. No? So you have to remember the features of each type of paradigms and what are the other features of paradigms. You have to remember. If the diagonals are perpendicular to each other, then what the paradigms? What kind of paradigms are they? Then, if theta is 90 degrees, then what is the feature of that kind of paradigms? What are the features of that kind of paradigms? Then the sides. All the sides of paradigms are equal. Then what are the features of that kind of paradigm? Those are the things you have to remember. Okay. Okay, right under this equation. Here, theta is the angle between P and Q. P and Q. Theta is the angle between P and Q. Within brackets, not the angle between P and minus Q. Not the angle between P and minus Q. Close the bracket. Right under that. We can complete A, D, E, F parallelogram. We can complete A, D, E, F parallelogram. Therefore, the above two parallelograms are equal in sizes. So AC, write this one, right? AC, write this one, AC equal and parallel to FD. So AC is equal and parallel to FD. Therefore, AC vector is equal to FD vector. Therefore, FD vector is equal P minus Q. That means the difference vector. Therefore, FD vector represents the difference vector. Try this one. Look at this one. Therefore, if I draw a vector parallelogram, for these two forces or vectors, the diagonal in between these two forces, represents the resultant vector. The other diagonal gives the difference or subtraction between P and Q. Okay, therefore, I can use both the diagonals to find the resultant and difference. Okay, therefore, if I draw a vector paragraph for any two vectors acting at the particular point, acting at the particular certain point, then the diagonal which is in between two vectors represent the resultant force, while the other represents the difference. Okay. We can pass it, draw this one. Okay. Right under this paragraph. Right under this paragraph. Therefore, in a vector paragraph, diagonal in between two forces. Two vectors, not forces, two vectors. Two vectors is equal to the resultant vector. And the other diagonal gives the difference vector. Okay. This is the end result. So you have to clearly understand how you derive up to this level. Then you can remember this one. Once you calculate the questions, or once you answer the questions, you can simply remember this one, the end result. From this end result, I can solve the problems. But you should understand how we come to this end result. Okay. Okay. AC. AC means write this one. AC means AC length. AC length is equal to the magnitude of resultant force. So I can write it as P plus Q, P vector plus Q vector, magnitude of P plus Q vector. The same thing can be written as this. Magnitude of R or magnitude of P plus Q. Okay, you may have from this either in this way or either in this way. Okay, in questions you may have adding this way or this way. So you have to get an idea about this one. Yes. Then dB length. dB length is equal to difference. Difference means P minus Q. P minus Q. So modulus of P minus Q. Modulus means magnitude of P minus Q. That means D modulus of D. Modulus of D. Therefore, there may be some questions. Something like this kind of symbols. Okay. Or something like this kind of symbols. Therefore, if you are given this P plus Q modulus, that means they are discussing about AC diagram. If you are given this kind of symbol, that means they are discussing of the other diagram. Okay. Then you can convert that into the geometrical figure. Okay, try this one also. Okay, everyone, I need your attention. Everyone, I think we have to complete today's lessons. But before leaving, please give me a comment. Do you have any questions up to now, or are you clear with all the things?
So the diagonal is used to find the resultant vector. No?
Diagonal means AC diagonal, Muta. AC diagonal.
Yes, that is for the resultant vector, no, sir.
Yeah, but VD diagonal used to find the difference. Okay.
So then what comes for the addition of P plus minus Q?
Sorry.
Which diagonal is used for P plus minus Q?
It is BD, no. BD means actually, then we have created minus Q vector. Then this is the minus Q vector. Therefore, then I have added these two. Then I got the addition of Pn minus Q vector. I got Pn minus Q vector using through this diagram. No. Then I have equated this diagonal and this one by constructing other parallelogram. No. තේරුණාද ඒක? අය මම මෙතන අපි මෙතන තමයි අපි ක්‍රියේට් කරේ පුතේ මේ නෙගටිව් වෙක්ටර් එක. ඊට පස්සේ ආයි මේ පැරලග්‍රෑම් එකක් ක්‍රියේට් කරාට පස්සේ මේ ලයින් එකයි දෙන්නම ඉක්වල් line පැරලල්. එහෙනම් මේ ඩයගනල් එකෙන් රිප්‍රසන්ට් වෙන්නේ මෙයාගේ ඩිෆරන්ස් එක වෙන්න ඕන කියලා අපි කිව්වේ. තේරුණාද?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Wait. This is minus Q. Therefore, this is P, this is minus Q. Therefore, this diagonal represent the addition of plus and minus Q, no? Plus P and minus Q. This is plus P and minus Q. This diagonal represent the plus Q and minus Q. Plus P and minus Q. Okay. Therefore, so we have derived this one. No? We have derived this one. After that, we have construct the other parallelogram and shows. Actually, we have shown this one and this parallelogram and this parallelogram are equal in sizes. Therefore, this diagonal should be parallel to this one. Therefore, this vector should be equal to the vector represented by dB. Therefore, P minus Q is represented by dB diagonal. dB diagonal. Okay. Harry, do you have any other questions? Tell me this shit.
So for the exam, is it necessary to prove that both parallelograms are equal?
No. You are not asked in this kind of questions because these are some basic lessons. No. Therefore, you are not going to ask this kind of questions in your A-level exams. But you may there may be some questions in your term test, but for A-level, it is not required. But for understanding, you have to have that knowledge. Otherwise, you cannot understand. You cannot remember the last final results. You cannot remember that. You can remember, but the thing is, you cannot answer for difficult questions. Okay? You cannot answer for difficult questions without knowing this derivations. That's why you have to have deep knowledge about each and every subtopic. Yeah, we can actually theta can be any value. Theta can be any value. No? If theta is equal to 0, actually theta can be any value from 0 to 180. No? 0 to 180, theta can be any value. Therefore, if Q is in other way. Yeah. No. If Q is in other way, then there's another situation. That is another situation, no? That means P is in this direction, Q is in this direction. Original Q is in this direction. Okay, original Q. This is P. Okay. Then what will happen? Then minus Q is in another direction. This is minus Q. This is minus Q. So this diagonal represents P plus minus Q. P plus minus Q means P minus Q. Okay. Now the resultant of these two forces is represented by this diagonal. This is the original arc, not this one. Okay. If Q is in other side, there is totally another case. Okay, totally another case. There. Is it totally another case? Then Q is in this direction, R P is in this direction. Therefore, the resultant force of them is in this way. Is in this way. Okay. Therefore, minus Q is in now this direction. Now, the P minus Q is in this way. Okay. So don't compare this paragraph and the previous one. Okay. Don't compare these two. Those are two totally two cases. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? What are the questions? What about others? මගේ ඇඩ්වයිස් එක බැරි වෙලාවත් මොකක් හරි පුංචි කොස්සක් තියෙනවා නම් එතනින් එහාට යන්න එපා. රෙකෝඩින් එක බලන්න. අනිවාර්ය රෙකෝඩින් එක බලන්න මගෙන් අහන්න. ඕකේ අනිවාර්යෙන් අහන්න. Do you have any problem? මම ආයෙත් අහන්න. මේක සම්බන්ධයෙන් මොනවා හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. නැත්නම් තේරෙනවා. Do you get my points? Up now? Okay. Thank you. There will be a lot of applications, okay? I will discuss those applications. Otherwise, you cannot do any questions regarding this. There will be a lot of applications, okay? Others, what about others? What about others? Anita, another. There another? Steve, Yanisha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. මොකක් හරි question එකක් තියෙනවා මම අහන්න මෙහෙමයි මේකේ problem කරන්න අපි ඊට පස්සේ එතකොට මේ වෙන අපිට මේ applications තියෙනවා මේකේ ඒ නිසා applications ටික හරියට තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ කියලා වෙනවා තමයි අනිවාර්යෙන් derivation මොකද්ද කරේ කියලා derivation එක ආයෙ පාරක් බලන්න derivation එක කරේ කොහොමද කියලා ආයෙ පාරක් බලන්න ආයෙසර මේ ඒක try කරන්න හරිද මම ඕගලන්ට questions ටිකක් දෙනවා ඔය duty දින questions නෙවෙයි මම ටියුට් ටික මේ post කරා දැන් අලුතෙන් ආපු දරුවෝ ඉන්නා මම හිතන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ ටියුටර් හාස් කොපිස් ඕන නම් මට කියන්න ඒ දරුවෝ එතකොට මට ඊළඟ next round එකේදී post කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ ටියුටර් hard copies කියන්නේ මට මුලින්ම hard copies දෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒ කියන්නේ basic mathematics නම්බර දෙන්න පුළුවන් අවශ්‍ය කට්ටිය කියන්නේ හරිද නැත්නම් print outs ගන්න facilities කියන කට්ටිය මේ PDF ඕන අරගන්න print outs ගන්න පුළුවන් හරි මොකද්ද එතකොට අලුතෙන් ආපු දරුවෝ අවශ්‍ය නම් ටියුට්ස් වල hard copies වලට personally message එකක් දාන්න ඕනේ කියලා address එකත් එක්ක මම එහෙම තේවන්නම්. හොඳයි අපි so now to 12:21 our next session will be start at 2 o'clock පුතා not 1 o'clock 2 o'clock okay I will share the links reload links okay so we can complete today's class. Okay. Then have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. I